Welcome to the College Football Apostles. Garrett Garrison here as your leader, as your college football apostles. Man, because life's like a puzzle. You don't need all the pieces. Sometimes one is all you need. Sometimes people will call that a picture, but it's really a puzzle.
Oh my gosh, George. What are you doing?
Being a dad. Kid wanted to do Minecraft. Dad's in on Minecraft.
You know what this says about me, though?
What? That
if you're
your
Jason
kids are
Momoa
older and they don't want to do themes?
No, if you're Jason Momoa and I'm your short, fat, white friend that likes video
Oh, you're
games.
Steve's Lava Chicken.
Steve
Lava Chicken. Yeah.
Cool. I guess I'm Jack Black.
Yeah.
Fun fact, nobody knows this. Jack Black's cinematic breakout role was, since it is Halloween, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Really? I need people. Nobody remembers this. This was the cast of I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Brandy, Mekhi Phifer, and Jack Black.
What?
Yeah, you had Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze, but that's who they replaced Sarah Michelle Gellar and Ryan, what's his name with?
That's crazy.
Ryan Philippe. Yeah. So Brandy is in I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, and it's Jack Black's first movie role, and he plays a white Rastafarian.
I need to go see the preview of that one again because I haven't seen that one quite. And so,
if I'd known you were doing this, I would have been white Rastafarian Jack Black.
Dude,
I Still Know What You Did Last Summer.
I didn't grow up wearing costumes, dude. Like, I didn't celebrate Halloween. I was at Hallelujah night.
JW?
What do you mean?
Jehovah's Witness?
No.
Black Israelite?
No, just a regular old Christian, non-denominational. So I was always at Hallelujah night and didn't celebrate Halloween. And then when Roman was born, like I was kind of still into that, so I kind of poo-pooed it with the kids, but I would let them dress up. And then Denisha finally got me to dress up a couple years ago when I did the Mighty... not Mighty Pups. What's the other ones that like it's the same?
Oh, the dogs, the cop dog.
Yes.
I just noticed.
Oh, Chase is on the case.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, the pups. So I dressed up as that and had a cool suit, and so I've done it a couple times now. But so
I love that you're like late to Halloween. That's fun.
So the kids had I've been to the kids' school, like they have these parades and all of this stuff, and I was not even recognized. I'm always at school. Was not even recognized. There. The volleyball coach, who my daughter plays for, was like, she was like, "Oh my God, who's that big white guy standing next to Kenyon Martin?" This is what she says to her husband. And because she's looking at me from the back, she was like, "I've never seen this dude before in my life." And then her husband was like, "That's George." She was like, "That is not George. What are you talking about?" And then she peeked over to the side. She was like, "Oh my God, I did this costume." So
you look like O.J. Simpson dressed as Kato Kalin.
So
did you like the Minecraft movie?
Seriously today.
I know your kids are into Minecraft. Did you like the Minecraft movie?
It was long.
There's a lot going on.
Yes.
It was long.
Yeah. It was
talking in the theater.
Yeah, I get it. It was just a little long for me. I didn't think it was going to be as well received as it actually was, but the kids loved it. And when you make movies for kids, you make more money because the kid can't go to the movie theater all by themselves. A parent has to take them. Or some adult, so you automatically sell way more tickets.
You know what I loved about that movie is it highlighted just how bizarre the Storage Wars people are.
Oh,
Like they are trying to make rent off that stuff.
yeah. All right. So,
You ever been a storage? I know you like investments. You ever been a Storage Wars guy?
dude, I used to love the show. I wanted to do it. But I've actually been a victim of storage wars. So when me and the wife, when we were together, and this early on, the small house, big family, and so we needed some more room, so we had to put some stuff in storage. When we moved to a different house, I thought I got everything out of storage, but there was a box that was actually pushed further toward the back because it had like a shelf on it in it, and I didn't get the one box out of the shelf, and it was her wedding dress, bro. Nice, expensive wedding dress. And so about once every 6 months, she's like, somebody mentions something about a wedding dress, and I see her like die a little on the inside. But then I try to make it better, and I say, babe, it was one dress, one day. Like, I love you, but you were never gonna wear it again. And she was like, I could have given it to Devin. And I was like, she's taught like it would not work. And she was like, whatever, George. So I try to make it better, but there's no making it better.
That's rough. That's a forever mistake. That'll keep coming up. I got a
So should I
storage
just buy a
story.
new one?
No, 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 absolutely not.
So do we renew our vows just so I can get a new dress?
You might have to. You might have to, but that dress is gonna have to be like enshrined, like you're at a Planet Hollywood restaurant. It's gonna have to be in a glass
Oh,
case in your house.
you're right about that, bro. You are
I got a
right.
storage story for you that involves
Okay.
college football.
Okay.
Uh, so my dad owns like a painting company, and he gets contracted out by the rental property management companies sometimes,
Okay.
and they'll flip stuff over so that they can rent it out to the next person. So you just go in. If they left stuff, you move it all to the garage so that somebody can come and pick it up and haul it off to like. Usually, it's not stuff they wanted to keep. So you call like a junk hauler. They'll come take everything to the dump. Then you'll just sandblast everything white, change a couple doorknobs, do some drywall, and then it's ready for the next person to come in and have their kids' white boogers on the wall for a year. So that's the rental flip business. And I would be included in a lot of these painting, prepping, hauling junk, and stuff like that. Did it from like very young age. And one day we go to this house in Arizona, uh, and it's like a nicer house, and everything in it was nice that got left behind. And it became very evident very quickly that this was an NFL player's house,
Yeah.
that he was just in town because he was on a team for a short amount of time. And I don't know what you did. Like when you had your cup of coffee in New York, did you rent a place for like a
Yeah.
6 month stretch? Like
Yep.
what did you do?
Yeah. I was in like a corporate housing type place. It was an apartment, like apartment condo type deal, furnished, all that stuff. Yeah.
So I feel bad about this. I'm about to admit to a crime. I will rectify if this player watches this and and reaches out. But like we go into this house and everything's kind of nice, and I go into the closet and there is a game worn Clemson bowl jersey. Um, and so it becomes very evident who this player is.
Yeah, because you
Uh,
see a name on it.
the last name, and then there's like shoes for days. There's a lot more clothes than there was furniture or anything else. And so we're moving everything, we're hauling everything to the garage, and this man had a 5-gallon water cooler jug in
Yeah.
his closet filled with quarters.
That's something that you would see me have. 100%.
Yeah, it's very like 90s, early 2000s. Like in every home is just a giant change jar.
Yeah.
Um, I have like 13 cents in my Vans ashtray, and that's all I got.
Well,
But
I
this
I
was
used to have a lot. Now I don't because I don't even want to touch them nasty coins now. And you spend so much with cards. Dude, there was a point in time in my life where I always at least had $10,000 on me. Always. And
I think
like
I
somewhere
saw
between
$10,000 one time.
in between $10,000 and $50,000 because I used to play a lot of poker. And yes, a lot of poker, yes, in some of these home games and stuff like that. But now I
Oh,
don't.
just
But
a little
now
throwaway comment. Home poker games. Not that those are in the news right now.
I know, right? Oh, dude, I made a video about it, but I'm nervous if I should even put it out.
If you get yourself arrested by the FBI, it'd make for a good story, though. That'd be good content. Especially if you get hauled away wearing that.
So, all right. Yeah. So, dude, I hope I'm pretty sure it's past the statute of limitations on your thievery.
Well, so as you can imagine, I think 5 gallon water thing is 40 pounds.
Yeah.
Imagine it 3/4 of the way filled with quarters. So I had to get a dolly. I hauled and there's probably a few $100 in change in this 5 gallon drum, but stuffed at the top was a roll of ones. Stuffed, it was like a makeshift lid for the 5 gallon
Yeah.
thing. I pocketed the ones. I did. I was 15. I feel bad about it now, but Patrick Sapp, if you hit me up, I owe you like $100.
Hey. All right.
I'll pay you as a loan.
So
It
here's
bought
the
me
thing about
Arby's
it.
for like a month.
So here's the thing about it. You know how the good book says that when you steal something, you got to pay it back times seven. That's probably what happened when your car got stolen from the AMPM.
That was my recompense for stealing $100 from
Yep.
Patrick Sapp when I was 15.
Yep.
Well, what's crazy is like I don't know if he ever got any of that stuff back. I don't know if he got like the his Bulger
Dude. Sometimes
hauled to the
people
dump.
lose stuff in stories that and like memorabilia, and they can't get it back, and that is like I would imagine that would be pretty frustrating.
If you got any connects, I know he's a few years older than you. You got any connects? I'll get you your $100 back, Patrick.
All right. On to the business of the day. It's college football time. It's college football season. We are here. And so last week was absolute like there wasn't really any chaos necessarily, but we ended up with coaches fired, people looking for coaches. Is James Franklin going to Virginia Tech now? Matt Rhule put out a video talking about how much he loves, how happy he is in Nebraska. Why wasn't you saying that before you got your new contract, pal? Um, Dude, it is a bunch of scamming going on amongst people that I like in general because I know a lot of these college football coaches, and so we always start with our thoughts for last week. So I'll go first this week. Is college football coaches are scammers, and there is plenty of money, but the well will run dry. And this is not all college football coaches. Let's take Matt Rhule, for example. This was
Mhm.
scammer behavior. And I mean that in like a positive, like he's not a trickster, that he's not just getting over it. He's trying to do a good job. But why didn't you just say from the beginning, I'm staying at Nebraska? Schools will give you a new contract without you having to like hold their feet to the fire or the reason why you're doing that is because you haven't done a good enough job to warrant a new contract, but you're forcing them to give you a new contract. So his buyout goes from 48 million up to 71 million. And yes, that's a
Wow.
good business move, but at the end of the day, if you do a good job, they will reward you. And you don't have to if you got to threaten to go somewhere else to get a new job, then number one, you probably really don't want to be there. Or number two, they don't really value as much anyway. So it's a best it sets a bad precedent because and then when you have coaches when you have people say, "Oh, we'll just offer this coach $15 million." Well, that sounds like a hostage. Because if somebody's making 5 million and you offer them 15 million, and they love where they're at, they're gonna be like, "Bro, this is like it's $100 million. How am I?" And I'm got 25 here, 100 here. I'm now a hostage. I don't even want to be there, but I'm forced to be there. And you don't want hostages. You want willing participants. And there's plenty of money to pay the players. All of this because 160, $180 million buyout money already committed. Plenty of money to pay the players. But there's not, but for some reason that's looked at poorly. I'm off my soapbox.
I think Matt Rhule has a weird amount of leverage in that, like, this is the college where he walked on. Penn State was, so it was a very unique threat, right? And then
Yeah, but if he
he's
was gonna go, he
also
was gonna go. It wasn't gonna be for
true.
money or not for money.
That's true. That's true. Um, you're also bowl eligible for the second season in a row, which for Nebraska shouldn't be a big deal, but it really is because they had the gap from 2017 to 2024. And they don't want to take one step backwards, and that's fully understandable. The other thing is, Matt Rhule started a podcast with a dude from Pennsylvania, and he's in there standing up at his desk like he's Pat McAfee or Cam Newton, running this show every week. And I think there are little seeds of paranoia that are planted in Nebraska, fans' heads of like, is this guy all in or not? And I think this will bring some relief to that situation that he's locked in.
But is he
I
though?
just,
If he
that's a great
wins,
question.
if he wins 10 games, and then next year Alabama comes open, is he then going to be like,
It's a great question, and I'll give you my takeaway, and it's that I'm realizing that college football head coaching jobs are actually not that different than just regular corporate situations, right? So, um, you have three very distinct situations. You have, um, I'm probably the only one who can do this job. Therefore, I'm invaluable and I pay for myself. And that is my knowledge. And there's alignment from top to bottom. So your athletic director and the president of the university are going to reward you based on you being able to accomplish something that nobody else really has been able to accomplish, and you understanding the situation as well or better than anybody else could. Your raises aren't necessarily contingent on the threat of somebody else coming to get you. That's like a Dabo Swinney type situation
yeah,
where it's like, oh, like Dabo is the culture. We weren't anything before he got here. He's over the last 17 years, we're probably the second best program. And so, we're all in agreement that this is going to work this specific way. There's a lot of jobs in America that work exactly like that. Then you have the adversarial relationship or multiple climbers be involved. And I think this might be maybe closer to the Matt Rhule situation. You have an athletic director that just left two jobs
yep,
for better jobs or better pay or whatever else. Troy Dannon went from Tulane to Washington to Nebraska, and he did it in a 3-year period. So
exactly.
you can't, like, what, you gonna bullshit a bullshitter? You gonna go to his office and be like, no, I'm totally happy here. I'm sure that's a line that Troy Dannon has fed to other people. So you got to actually like play the game of the situation in order to get what you want. And the people you're playing the game with understand that it's a game. They might not 100% be on your side, but they've played it too. And so it can be adversarial, but you can also work together for the common good. Then you have this other situation, and this is why I want to bring up Kenny Dillingham, because he was on the cover of the article for The Athletic of who could be replacing Brian Kelly at LSU. And there's no like inside information or reason for it. If you open the article, it's just, we got to throw some names out and stir the pot. Kenny Dillingham cannot come out and say what Dan Lanning says, which is like, I'm exactly where I want to be. even though Kenny Dillingham has the same views as Dan Lanning. And why can't he come out and say that?
That's a good question,
Because,
Ralph.
well, because him and his athletic director are on the same team. And this is how I think a lot of jobs in America work.
Explain it. I
Like,
don't understand what you mean.
so your boss is in on it with you. They also want you to have more resources and to have a raise. But they're going to tell you, I can't go to my boss without some leverage. So if Kenny Dillingham wants more money for recruiting, if Kenny Dillingham wants more control over, where NIL goes, if Kenny Dillingham wants to see his vision through of having like an indoor tailgating facility, he can't turn down anything publicly because it wouldn't be in his athletic director's best interest for him to do it.
I see what you're saying because, and I've said this consistently, that Kenny Dillingham is not leaving Arizona State right now. That we are at least a few years of being under resourced away from it even being a threat. But there needs to be a threat for his boss to then be like, hey, yo, like, I don't know what's going on. I know he loves it here, but we never know if it. And I actually don't believe that Kenny Dillingham wants more money. I mean, of course, everybody wants more money. I don't think that the ask for him is pay me more money. I think the ask for him is give me more resources. Because if you give me more
Yeah.
resources, you will pay me more money.
Yeah, yeah. You set me up for success. I'm like success will eventually reward me on
Yes.
the back end.
Yes.
It's a pretty like good and holistic way to look at it, but you had to play the game. And I think about it this way because like my wife's worked for the same company for 18 years now, and she's been promoted 11 or 12 times. And her direct boss is on her team. Like, I'll like witness conversations just in the periphery because we both work from home, where it's like, hey, if you want this for your people or you want this for yourself, I need leverage.
Yep.
So, like, you want one of your people to get a raise, I need to know there's a threat of them being poached.
Yes.
Bring me an offer letter from somebody else so that I can justify
Mm.
getting your person what they need to stay here.
Mm.
And so like
Okay.
that I look at that and I look at a situation like Arizona State and some of these other situations where people are coaching at their alma mater. Dan Lanning is afforded the ability to come out and just know that he's going to get taken care of. So he can say, I'm exactly where I want to be. I'm not interested in any of these jobs. That loyalty is going to get rewarded on the back end.
For
He's getting
sure.
paid for loyalty.
Yes, that
If
they
you're
get, and the thing is that the thing that people don't realize is that last year when the Alabama job came open, that's not when he got a new contract. So he didn't leverage that into a new contract. They gave him a new contract months and months after that.
right,
Because,
and so if you're Brent Key or you're Jeff Brom or you're Kenny Dillingham and people bring this stuff to your doorstep, you got to be like, I'm not focused on any of that. You have to leave the door open for the possibility that you could take off. You have to,
see,
because
if
your
I'm where I
boss needs that leverage.
if I'm where I want to be, I would come out and I would say, look, I love being here. I'm not leaving here as long as we continue to, like, there's no chance. As long as we continue to do the resources, blah, blah, blah. That's what I would say because that explicitly says there is a threat, but only if you don't handle your business. But because I got to handle mine as far as coaching, winning, recruiting, all of this stuff. But I need the tools to be able to do so.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. But that's just Garrett Garrison.
You know me, I'm a dumbass. I'd be like, you're getting paid for this? You guys getting paid? I've been just hanging out here, slaving away. Is there money involved?
That's hilarious.
But I
That's
don't know,
actually
man.
hilarious.
It's been a circus. That was my takeaway. my main topic for you, George, is did LSU go from being this greatest job available that everybody was talking about to a job that it is maybe not one you want to take? And the reason I ask that is because the governor of Louisiana has turned this into a reality show, and you have like Urban Meyer, who, his name gets floated out for all sorts of stuff. We know he's not going to take any job, but you have him coming out here and being like, why would anybody go to LSU right now if the government's involved?
Yes, and that because they don't have a president of the school, and this is not a booster funded. I told everybody, and I said initially when I did the reaction video, I said, Brian, I was like, the reason why the governor had to get involved is because this is a public money buyout, and this is not a privately funded buyout. And then there was some talk, oh, there's a privately funded. I was like, so then this privately funded, why the hell you need to get the governor involved? Exactly. So now it's a situation where the the head coach at LSU is there for a good time and not for a long time. Like you don't make it there long term. Like when is the last time that they have had a long term head coach? I'm pulling up
What,
their
last mile?
yes, that'd probably be it. So you had uh-oh. So you had Brian Kelly there, almost 4 years. Ed Ogeron, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Les Miles. Oh, that good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years. Nick Saban for 5. Jerry DiNardo, what, 4 or 5 years. Curly Hallman, 4 years. Mike Archer, 4 years. Dude, this is a litany. You got to go all the way back to the 8th to 1979, where you had Charles McClendon there from 62 to 79. Like this has been a turnstile job outside of Les Miles, and they would have got Les Miles up out of there if it were this era too.
I think that, yeah, this feels like an NBA contract, like a 3-year supermax. Like this feels like a job that Kevin Durant would sign on for.
Yes, yes, exactly.
So,
Like so,
I
if
don't.
you want to have any longevity with your family, stability, any of that stuff, LSU ain't the place for you. It is not. And also, so LSU does have built-in recruiting advantages because it is ingrained into the state. It's not like there's another college in Louisiana that people are like clamoring to go to. I mean, of course, Tulane is good, Louisiana's good. You know what I mean? Like that La Tech has had some history, but compared to other states, like if you go to Georgia, there's Georgia Tech. What else is in Georgia?
Georgia
Like
Southern, Georgia State.
yeah, but like Georgia's king there, right?
Yeah.
But Georgia Tech can make some inroads because it's still a P4 school. In Louisiana, that's it. That's it. In Florida, you got Florida State, Miami. Those are a lot of options. So so your built-in recruiting advantages is in the state of Louisiana. So that, yes, you do have. But as far as winning, that's different, bro. You can win at almost anywhere now where you have resources. And I think that
Yeah.
that's the biggest difference. Is that it's not that LSU's not a great job because it is, because you can recruit there, but they also have some financial limitations in that the state doesn't have money like that. This is why the governor had to get involved and why this is such a big deal right now.
If I'm LSU, and I can't even put myself in that mindset, but if I'm LSU, I want somebody who is that works really hard at at the job of trying to win football games, knowing that your school is gonna recruit itself, knowing that NIL is about to be regulated in a way where you can take that job off of really the head coach's plate altogether.
Yeah.
And it makes a boring dude like Matt Campbell attractive to me in that situation of saying, we just need somebody
Mm-mm.
who knows how to coach college kids to win football games.
I'm not hiring Matt Campbell there. And I like Matt Campbell a lot. So it's not that I don't think he would be a phenomenal head coach. Number one, he's a sitting power forward coach, which is a bad idea to hire him somewhere else. History says that doesn't work.
The
I
last
think
time it did work was somebody hiring somebody away from Iowa State, though, ironically enough.
who?
Uh, your boy that won with Cam Newton. He got hired out of Iowa State
Oh,
after going 2
Gene Chiswick.
Yeah, Gene Chiswick.
Yeah. And then the other thing is, I think that in Louisiana, you need somebody who understands the culture. I feel like John Summerall is the right guy for that job. He's in Tulane. He knows Louisiana, knows the coaches there. He'll be able to recruit at a very high level there.
Is
I
there
think that's
something
the
about being a
simple
lower
math.
level coach? Is there something about being a low level coach where you get your teeth kicked in if people mention you for a job? Because they gave up 31 points in the first half last night to UTSA. And
Yes, bro. These coaching rumors cost. And I was talking to an agent, and I talked about this on the live yesterday. Is that these agents and some of these coaches are terrified of these interviews right now, Ralph. They're terrified of them because they know that at the point in time it gets out that they are interviewing, now all of a sudden people are questioning their loyalty, they're questioning their commitment, they're questioning everything. So, and
now
then
that
your
I know
best
that's true,
players, yeah, and your best players are now like, oh, coach is shopping around. Hmm, maybe I should listen as well. And as soon as you give the ear to the streets gonna take some of it.
don't you think Matt Campbell would be so good at LSU?
Oh my God, because they're playing ASU. That's dirty work right there. That's nasty work.
It wasn't my plan, but now that you said that there is a cost,
I mean,
I just think he would do
think about
so
as
good
soon
at
as
being really
the Matt Rhule rumor started, Nebraska played their worst game of the season against Minnesota.
mm-hmm.
Hmm, the irony.
I have a so my son brought this up and it's for you and you only. You would laugh at this. So I told him as a young Washington fan who knows why. I was like, "Hey, you guys might lose your coach." And he's like, "Everybody might lose their coach." And I'm like, "Yeah, but you really might." And you know
You
what he
know,
said to
not
me?
losing their coach.
Oregon.
You know who else is not losing their coach? Miami.
It's very
Alabama's not
funny
losing their coach.
how quickly you started flexing on people that your coach isn't available when you were a turnstile program
Whoa!
with Chip Kelly and Mario Cristobal and Willie Taggart.
Hey.
You're out here on your fourth marriage giving marriage seminars.
Notre Dame, they're not losing their head coach. Hey, I will say, as a person who covers college football, but also somebody who cares about it and understands all aspects of this, it does feel nice to know that your coach is not leaving.
It is nice. But I asked him, I was like, what do you want if you lose another head coach? And he told me, he goes, Jerry Neuheisel. Bro, this marketing works. Those
Yes.
little clips you see on Instagram
Yep.
of and he didn't even know Jerry Neuheisel's history with his dad
Yeah.
being Washington. He didn't even know. He just saw clips of Jerry Neuheisel leading post game chants, and
Exactly.
he's like, "That should be the next head coach of University
Not
of
the
Washington." So
not the
shout out to
actual head
marketing.
coach, Tim Skipper, but okay.
So that the Tim Skipper stuff, I got to bring this up with you as a 4/5 white man. Um, every single post I see that deals with Tim Skipper is like, this is racism, right? I just want to float that out there. What is your
Oh,
take on that?
okay, so it's very
To tell
interesting that
people
you
what we're
bring this up.
talking about,
So
Tim Skipper is the interim coach of UCLA.
correct, and but whenever they win, you see Jerry Neuheisel.
Mhm.
But then when they just got blown out by Indiana, which everybody except Oregon has, well, and Iowa, they were like, "Oh, Tim Skipper, we sure he should get the head coaching job?" Like what? And there were people who were floating about that Jerry Neuheisel should get the job. I was like, first of all, he's 33. That doesn't mean that he can't eventually be a big time head coach and all this stuff. I was like, well, I guess they could make him and his dad like co-head coach, and he's the head coach in waiting because his dad can be the adult in the room, and but he still be leading things. And then I was like, hold up, how's that gonna play out? You don't hire Tim Skipper, the guy who's righted the ship, for little alleged whiz kid over here. That's not gonna play well in the like. That ain't gonna go over well. You would actually lose all of the goodwill that Jerry Neuheisel has by passing up the guy who actually did the job for him. That would not go over well. And then if you add in that he's a black man too, it's gonna get blown even more out of proportion.
Yeah, that the internet will internet for sure, and that you will see an all time interneting internet
Yes.
reckoning if that ends up happening. Um, I do want to stick on UCLA for a second though, as someone who has famously signed a letter that became public, having to do with hiring and firing at a college. For those of you who don't know, there was there was a coach opening at Oregon, and the players wanted to be brought back into the program and have a say, and decided that the man that would be best for them is one that they used to play alongside in Justin Wilcox. People signed their
That
name
is
to it.
not what I said.
I'll give you the floor here in a second.
Okay.
But I say all that to say this, and George, you can explain yourself away, but I also want your take on this. They said like 50 some former players just wrote a letter wanting Martin Jarman to get fired at UCLA. You got some connections at UCLA, so I just want to know what is going on here, and is this actually an effective way to get what you want, having participated in something similar?
Um, so I was not first of all, yes, this is a way to get what you want. But thank God, because I actually had to call Oregon's athletic director after Joey put out because to go back, Joey Harrington calls me. George, we want to talk about the program, blah, blah, blah. Like, we feel like it's getting away from the Oregon roots, right? The players aren't really back and all this. I was like, hell yeah. And my thing was, yes, Justin Wilcox should be considered for this job. However, we can't just give him this job because he's got to recruit better. He's got to be more intense in that area, blah, blah, blah. Believe that you can recruit the best class in the nation to the Eugene and all of this stuff. And then that got turned into so what Joey talked to me about versus what was in the letter was two different things. And then so I ended up talking to the athletic director, Rob Mullins. That was like, Rob. Hold on. I know my name's on there, but this is not what I was saying. I was like, we need to hire. So me and Rob had some private conversations about it. He was like, oh, okay, I understand what you're saying. This makes sense. And then when the Dan Lanning thing came up, I was like, oh. I called and did some digging on Dan, and I was like, oh, this dude is legit. So I was on board with that. I was 100% on board with that. I actually would have hired him over Justin Wilcox too.
So what about UCLA? Do you think this will have an effect? You think it'll change the way Martin
I
Jarman does stuff? They issued a kind
I
of
don't.
like a vote of
I think that
confidence.
Martin Jarman made a good decision in the process. The best decision that he could when he was dealing with Chip Kelly. He had just got the job The prudent thing to do would have been the best decision in hindsight would have been to fire Chip Kelly as soon as Martin Jarmine got the job. That would have been the right thing to do. It also would have been bully ball. Like, you just get a job, you fire a guy, like, you don't even have the full landscape of things, understand what's going on. That's not always a prudent choice. You know what I mean?
And even if you wanted to bring your coach with you from Boston College, he decided he didn't want to coach college football anymore.
Yes. So I I understand him not firing Chip Kelly at first, and then Chip Kelly leaves late in the cycle. At the point in time Chip Kelly was starting to interview for other jobs, I'd have been like, all right, bro, it's time for you to go. And then hiring um Deshaun, he was already on staff. They knew him in the building, well respected, all of these things. The issue is that it was kind of like hiring an inexperienced head coach. If I were the athletic director, be like, listen, you have to bring some former coaches in on this staff. Not former coaches, former head coaches. We need analysts. We need this. We need that. And Deshaun Foster was under resourced and under mentored, if that will, with other people who were in the building that had done this previously. And I believe that that's why it failed. I don't believe it was for lack of effort or lack of anything like that. And I believe that Jarmon made a decent decision in that situation, hiring him. But then they also pivoted off of it pretty quickly too.
I'm curious because they got to trust him to make the hire. They were trying to get their foot in the door to get him up out of there, but now
Yeah. I think that Tim Skipper is going to, if I told you, if he can win 3 out of the next 4 games, absolutely. 2 out of the next 4, possible. Because they got USC, Washington, Ohio State. They're definitely not winning that game. And oh gosh, and then one more game I can't think of. Hold up, let me look.
well they got the intra-city rivalry.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I said. USC. Um, yeah, they got USC, Washington,
George, what
Nebraska.
if UCLA? What if USC beats Nebraska? What if they get on the verge of a CFP spot and it's UCLA that takes them down? How
I
do you
would
think
be.
USC fans would react to that?
Oh, that would mean that they beat Oregon if in your scenario, and
Mm-hmm.
then they
Yeah.
lose to UCLA. That would be fitting. That would be very. They would hate Lincoln Riley again.
I
Oh, have
I
we
have a
talked about though? And Josh Pate talked about this, but I have brought it up as well, but less so about the ACC, but more about the Big 12 and the ACC, how they
okay.
can actually end up with multiple playoff berths.
I did see Josh Pate talk about this a little bit, and he was kind of heavy on the ACC side because not a lot of the teams play each other, which is true. They have 17 teams
Yeah.
and 8 conference games, so you're not going to play everybody. And there are unique situations with like a Virginia and a Miami where, if you get to the end and you only have one loss, you can have a one loss team not allowed to play in the ACC championship game,
Yep.
and then you have to give them some consideration as well.
Yeah, because you could end up with an 11-1 Miami, not in the conference championship game, with a win over Notre Dame, who then played, but then you would have Georgia Tech in the conference championship game against, pick whoever you want to pick. You can go Virginia, Pitt, Louisville, whoever you want to pick. And then they beat Georgia Tech. So you got an 11-1 Georgia Tech who was inside of the top 10 for sure. Because if they're 12-0, excuse me, 12-0, Virginia Tech, who's going to be they're number 8 right now, so they're probably going to be top 6, top 8. And then you lose the conference championship game, Are we going to throw Georgia Tech all the way out to put another SEC or Big Ten team in? And then you got Miami sitting at 11-1, so you can't put Notre Dame in and leave 11-1 Miami out because they beat them. And then over in the Big 12, you got a similar situation with BYU, who is undefeated if they run the table. And then people keep bringing this up about other conferences, but you got the SEC with Texas A&M, Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss, and Vanderbilt. None of them play each other in the rest of the season, Ralph.
Right.
And they're all inside of the top 10. So
This
there's
is how
no
we're going to get this is how we're going to get a 2014 playoff forced down our throat.
Yep.
It's going to be this season because they form these super conferences and nobody plays each other. You do have a very bizarre situation right now brewing in the Big 12 because let's say Nebraska doesn't lose again for the rest of the season.
Okay.
That makes Cincinnati's loss to Nebraska not so bad.
Yes, correct.
So, what if Cincinnati beats Utah this weekend? And then eventually, Texas Tech deals BYU their first and only loss. And BYU turns around and deals Cincinnati their only Big 12 loss. You will have 3 8-1 teams at the top of the Big 12. Cincinnati will not have played Texas Tech. They'll have the extra loss to Nebraska that went down to the final play. In that situation, I'm assuming that means that Cincinnati doesn't get into the conference championship because they have the worst overall one-loss record, but they're all tied at 8-1. So I'm not actually 100% sure if that's how the Big 12 is governed. Last year, there was 4 7-2 teams, and Iowa State and Arizona State got to go, and I'm still not 100% sure why.
Yep.
Why it was.
Okay.
And so that's going to me, that's going to be a really interesting scenario because.
So let's do a little paper math here, okay? So you got the SEC winner. So pick who you want that to be.
Let's assume right now it's Alabama.
Okay. You got Alabama. Does Georgia lose to Georgia Tech? Yes or no?
No.
Okay. So then if Georgia actually let's assume Georgia Tech beats Georgia, okay?
Okay.
So and then Georgia Tech loses in the ACC championship to Louisville. Then you got Louisville with the automatic berth, a 12-1 Georgia Tech team that beat Georgia. So then Georgia Tech is 100% in the playoff because you can't put Georgia in the playoff and leave Georgia Tech out after they beat them in the last game of the season.
Right.
So now then you got the Big Ten champion. Who do you want to put in?
Probably Ohio State.
Okay, Ohio State. I think the thing we're figuring out, Ralph, in doing this is that we need more spots. So we got the SEC Alabama, ACC Louisville, but then Georgia Tech gets in. Big 10 Ohio State, Big 12 who gets in?
So again, doomsday scenario. Let's say that you have an 11-1 BYU playing an 11-1 Texas Tech in the Big 12 championship, and BYU wins, which means BYU gets in, right?
Okay, so wait,
but that would
an 11-1
BYU in a scenario where their only loss is to Cincinnati, who is 10-2, whose only loss is to Texas Tech. Do you keep a 10-2 Cincinnati team that's been to the college football playoff already out if they've got to win over the college football playoff team?
For BYU to finish 11-1, they have to hand Texas Tech another loss.
Yeah, they would have to beat Texas Tech twice in this situation. So BYU's in, Texas Tech's for sure out, but you have a 10-2 Cincinnati team with a win over BYU. Do you have to consider Cincinnati?
Yep, exactly. So then you put Cincy on the bubble, and we put BYU in, and I think we can put Indiana in as well. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and then let's throw the G6, whoever that individual is. So we already got 7 spots. Okay, and then we got, is Miami 11-1 in this scenario?
They absolutely could be. Yeah.
Okay, so now we got Miami
Three
in
ACC teams.
potentially. I mean, what are we supposed to do? And then we got to get the third Big Ten team in. Assume that Oregon finishes 11-1. They're already at number 6 now. So now
Right.
Oregon's in, and then now we got 9 spots taken, and I guess we got to give the other 3 to the SEC. So then we got Texas A&M. Um, Georgia could be the odd man out because they lost to Georgia Tech.
Virginia could be 11 and
But then
1 going
Georgia beat
into the
Ole
ACC
Miss.
championship.
But then Georgia would have beaten Ole Miss. Yes. So then it gets funky.
What if Virginia wins the ACC and their only loss is to Notre Dame?
No. Virginia, I thought their loss was to NC State.
Oh, you're right. You're right. You're right. That's my fault. That's my fault.
Yes.
They've lost 2 games, so they're out unless they win the ACC.
Yeah.
It's going to be messy, and they're going to use it to justify giving these TV networks what they want. Which brings me to our final topic today, George. When you leave the house to go to the store, what are the 2 most important things? Like when you go out and
Okay.
let's say 2 things that are sold by 2 different stores. What are they? It could be a
Well,
type of grocery.
what 2 things do I need to go to the store for the most?
Yeah, but it has to be
Food,
from 2 different stores.
food,
Okay.
and I don't need pet food anymore. What's the other thing?
Wah, wah. So let's say, okay, so you got a couple of Mexican food spots that you really love out there, right?
Yes.
Let's say your favorite Mexican food spot is right next to your favorite grocery store.
Okay.
All you do in either place is spend money.
Yes.
That's it. You have an allegiance to both because they have something you need.
Okay.
But if you pull up in the parking lot and you see the owner of the Mexican food store fist fighting the owner of the grocery store, and they both turn to you and they say, you need to pick a winner. What's your reaction to be? What the hell does this have to do with me?
Exactly. Like, bro, if no, I'm not picking a winner. No, no, sorry.
So my question is, why does YouTube TV and ESPN put out these statements asking us to figure stuff out for them? What does it have to do with me? Why are you talking to me? I'm watching 2 billionaires fight, and all I want to do is watch Washington State play at 11 p.m. Eastern. What does this have to do with me? What is the point of the PR battle? I'm earnestly asking, George, why do they appeal to us as the consumer?
because they think that all we care about is watching the game. That is what they know, that when it comes down to it, that is all that matters, is the ability to watch the game.
But if they're both telling me that it's the other person's fault, I don't have anything to say to you. You want me in my living room to
No,
tell you
I'm
who's
like,
right, Google or Disney?
either put the game on or I will find another way to watch it. Period. So I think YouTube TV will probably be the loser here, because if this is not fixed by Monday and people can't watch Monday Night Football, they will be over to Hulu TV or the ESPN app. And
All
then
I know
college
is if you
football, we can't watch college football on there, man. Hell no.
all
I
I
will
know is if
cancel
you
my
type in
subscription.
any college football game on TikTok, somebody will just set their phone up and stream that game. TikTok doesn't care.
Exactly.
So I'm like, you want me to pick a winner? How about you both lose?
Yeah.
You chase me into the black market of consuming college football.
Yep.
Like if it's not, that's what I'm saying. Like if it's not safe for me to come to your Mexican food restaurant or your grocery store because you guys are out here fighting in the parking lot, I'll just go somewhere else. So I don't understand why they're appealing to us at all. Like we have anything to do with this, and especially ESPN's statement calling Google a multi-billion-dollar corporation. What do you think you are?
And it's like, see, that multi-billion-dollar corporation is trying to take you away from your games. You need to stop them at once.
This is like Nancy Pelosi out here being like, we got to do something about these millionaires.
Exactly.
I'm like, oh, do we? Okay. I'm sitting in my house. What do you want me to do? I'm not gonna solve this. I just don't understand why ESPN PR is tweeting this call to action amongst college football fans. Like at the end of the day, you're trying to get my prices to go up and you want me to take out my sword and fight for you? Get
Exactly.
bent. I'm gonna pirate. I stole from Patrick Sapp. I will steal from you.
That's hilarious. All right.
I'm done. What are you looking forward to this weekend?
Oh, man, this weekend, I am looking forward to seeing. There's something weird in my gut. I feel like that Penn State is going to keep this game close. And I want to see too. I don't know why. They're favored by 20 and a half, and I just feel like this could be a 7 point game. I think that they're going to play out of their mind. And then the other thing is, I want to see Vanderbilt, Texas. Everybody wants
Mm.
Texas to be so damn good. Okay, let's see what you're talking about. And they want Vandy to be so damn good too. So one of these two things is not true, and exposure will happen. Texas is the 3.5 point favorite. Miami too. Will Miami survive SMU?
I'm 100 million% with you on this Texas versus Vanderbilt game. And here's the reason. Here's what this means for people sitting at small colleges all over America right now. This is a battle between a quarterback who 3 years ago was at New Mexico Military Institute against a quarterback 2 years ago who was at Gardner Webb outside of Gastonia, North Carolina.
Yep, we love to see it.
And that's assuming Arch Manning doesn't play. But like, if you're sitting at some tiny ass college somewhere right now, your moment might be 2 years away. You might be 2 years away from playing for an SEC championship.
Exactly, bro. Exactly.
Ole
And
Miss is
you
out
do
here
not know
rocking
it.
with a dude who was splitting time at Ferris State at this time last year.
Mm. Bro, that my friends matters. That my friends matters. And I actually love it, dude, cuz I'm actually happy for these kids that they get opportunities because they need them. And
You're
somebody
watching a
passed
kid
them up in
ball
high
out at
school or they had a glow up.
you're watching a kid ball out. You told me you're watching a kid ball out at UC Davis right now.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Caden Pennick, he's playing very, very well. And you could see him at a Power 4 school next year. He's the short king, but short kings can work.
I saw a guy earlier this year at Northern Arizona University named Ty Pennington, not the home improvement Ty Pennington, college football Ty Pennington. And all of a sudden, I'm like, wait, I think this guy's game translates.
Yep, a hundred
Like
percent.
everything is on the table for everyone. I told you, like as a Wyoming guy, I thought the NIL era was going to break us,
And it has not.
but no, because you got guys out there every single day playing for. Some people are playing for the opportunity to get drafted. Other people are playing for the opportunity to get on a bigger stage. It turned it into like you go to a regional broadcast of the play Hamilton, where it's not the original cast. It's just like some people in outside of Denver or something like that. And you're watching people give the greatest performances of their life because all of a sudden the way to Broadway is through Denver or anywhere in America. You're about to see everybody's performance level jump. And that's what's happening right now in the NIL era is anybody who leaves high school and didn't get found by the right people still has an opportunity. You
Yep.
could still get found. And it's like, again, Ole Miss could go to the national championship this year. I believe they could with a dude from Fair State. Vanderbilt could go with a guy from New Mexico Military Institute.
Even
Who
though he
knows
thinks
what
that he
Texas
win
is about to
that he should
accomplish?
win the Heisman after that performance last week, you're like, hey, brother, let's work on this as a legacy award and not a statistical award.
But I'm just, man, the college football is so crazy right now. It's more interesting than it's ever been. It's more fun than it's ever been, and I can't wait to complain about who gets left out of the college football playoff.
You're right, brother. And we get the first rankings this next Tuesday, so I'm juiced. You guys, I'm George Wrighster. He's Ralph Amsden. This is the College Football Apostles, and I'm Garrett Garrison. Have a great Halloween.
Sorry, Patrick.